Hey guys, this is Toro. Today we're going to be talking about energy in Raid Shadow Legends. I just collected a whole bunch from one of my events, and honestly, I thought I'd make a video to talk about how I'm going to be spending it, because I'm at the stage of the game where I need to kind of start, going down and figuring out exactly where we need to go from here. So before we get into it though, make sure you head on down to the description or scan the QR code on the screen to be able to support the channel, as well as get some extra goodies by signing up. So energy is obviously the major resource within Raid. It's how you go in, you do your dungeons, your campaigns, and all those kinds of really juicy things. And it's honestly like you get so much energy at the very start of the game that you're going to be able to spend it pretty easily, but you want to make sure you're spending it efficiently, because spending it efficiently is going to help build your account the best way. So at the very start of the game, you'll see that you've got a lot of energy. You're going to get thousands at the very start. So you want to make sure that you're using it efficiently. So at the very start, the first thing that you need to do is just go through the campaigns. Just progress through the campaigns as best you can. 3-starring them is ideal because it's going to allow you to be able to get some of your missions completed and everything like that. But just making sure that you're going through and progressing through the campaigns to be able to build up. And it's same with, going through your hard campaign as well. That's going to be important. So the first major thing that we're going to be spending energy on is leveling up our characters. So the way I'm doing it is I'm using, and check out my previous video where I talked about this, I'm using Kayle as basically the carry. He's doing all the damage, and then 3 kind of fodder characters. So if I go in, the other 3 fodder characters really aren't going to do much. Kayle's going to be the one kind of carrying them through and leveling them up. Now, why are we doing this? It's very important to make sure that you're starring up your characters and increasing how many stars they've got, because stars equal a lot of power. It also equals additional levels. At the moment, my Kayle could only get to level 50, but once I star him up again, he's going to be able to get up to level 60 and everything. So it's going to be very important to make sure that you're feeding up that fodder, making that fodder, working up that fodder to be able to kind of progress through to make sure that we're getting, the strongest characters we're able to. And the number one goal at the start of the game, as we talked about in our previous video, is making sure that we can get our, starter character up to level 60 and 6-star. It's going to be incredibly important. So that's your kind of number one priority there. Now, in my opinion, number 2 priority could easily be these tournaments and kind of checking out the tournaments. You want to be able to progress a little bit in them and making sure that you're getting some of the rewards if they are decent. It's going to be down to what you guys decide is going to be decent. You're going to be able to get some decent stuff, but also having a look at my points compared to this guy's points, I can tell that there's not much point me trying to compete for first or anything. So that's something that I'm just going to ignore from there at the moment. Progressing through your dungeons. So with the dungeons, you don't want to be kind of constantly running them. There is dungeon diver events and all that kind of stuff, but at the start of the game, you're going to have very limited energy. You're going to get a whole bunch of energy, but you're also going to have limited energy, if that makes sense. They dump a whole bunch on you at the moment, but you also need to be using it for other stuff. So making sure that you're progressing through these progress missions in here is going to be important, but then also just spending it, as I said, on leveling things up. And then when you're looking at the dungeons in here, you've got the Minotaur's Labyrinth in here to be able to get the mastery for your characters. You've got your arcane, etc., your potion dungeons that are going to be important to making sure that you're actually ascending your characters and everything. So those ones are going to be, decently important to make sure that you're ascending your characters up and making sure that you're getting your masteries. Your masteries are pretty important at the start as well. They're decent kind of stat boosts. Then from there, you've got your gear ones. To be honest, at the start of the game, the gear ones, I don't think are going to be a huge priority. Yes, they're good and you can get some decent stuff from them and everything, and it's going to be important for you to be able to have them ready for later on. But at the moment, you're only going to be able to level, say for example, at the moment on the dragon one, I could potentially do this one here to get 4 to 5-star ones, or I could go and continue leveling up my fodder to be able to, take some characters up to 6-star and allow me to be able to, potentially do potentially do higher levels of the dragon by having, Kayle up, having Rathalos up, etc. So there's going to be some, some balance in here that we're going to be needing. basically, you know, as I said, like progress through, level up your characters. That's your number one priority. Then number two is probably going through and ascending the characters and, you know, working on some of that stuff as you're kind of going along, and then making sure that you're grabbing your mastery scrolls. These are more like, you know, start once you get mid game, once you can progress through them a little bit easier, or, you know, if you're going to do some of the events or something like that, as you're kind of going through, they're going to be, you know, decently good. You can get some, you know, some nice stuff from these events, which is good. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Have a great day and goodbye.